For Mark, the first signs of trouble didn't arrive dramatically. There was no sudden blackout, no collapse on stage. Instead, it crept in slowly, like a shadow stretching across the afternoon sun. He began to notice that the energy he once carried so effortlessly was slipping away. Rehearsals felt longer. Even a simple weekday left him exhausted. He would sit on the curb outside the studio, hands on his knees, asking himself, "When did I become this tired?" Mark had always been the man in motion. His life was filled with deadlines, sets, and performances, balanced with laughter in the kitchen and routines that kept his family thriving. And always beside him was Kelly. She was not just his partner, but his calm in every storm, soft, steady, and grounding. Together, they had learned to weather the media glare, face rumors, and carry private struggles with dignity. So when Mark finally told Kelly he wasn't feeling right, she didn't brush it off. She listened deeply, as only someone who truly loves can. Sitting at their kitchen island, sunlight pouring across the counter, Mark tried to ease the moment with a joke. But Kelly leaned in, eyes steady, and said with quiet certainty, "You're going to get this checked." The first round of tests gave little clarity. Some results looked fine, others concerning. More tests followed, and the waiting rooms blurred into one another. Magazines older than their children sat untouched. Vending machines hummed in the background, and time moved slowly. When the doctor finally spoke the words out loud, the diagnosis felt like a weight pressing on Mark's chest. Heavy, real, life-changing. It gave a name to the fatigue that had been robbing him of mornings. But here's the truth. Illness could never define him. It could not erase his humor, his passion, or the deep love he carried for his family. Still, everything shifted. Conversations had new weight. The children looked at him differently, their voices laced with concern. Schedules rearranged, priorities reset. And through it all, Kelly became both his shield and his anchor. She threw herself into learning the language of medicine the way she once learned lines for scripts. Quickly, passionately, completely. She read articles late at night, scribbled notes at appointments, and asked doctors every question that mattered. But more than that, she was simply there. On nights when fear kept them awake, she'd rest her hand on his chest, tracing his tattoos in the dark, wordlessly reminding him, "You're not alone. We face this together." Being in the public eye added another layer of difficulty. How much to share? What to keep private? They didn't want to become a headline or an object of pity. Instead, they chose honesty without drama. Together they released a statement, simple, clear, and filled with purpose. It wasn't sensational. It was a promise. To be transparent where it might help others, but to protect their family from unnecessary noise. The world responded with love. Messages poured in, notes from fans, prayers from strangers, support from every corner of the globe. And while the headlines spun, inside their home life slowed down. The family drew closer. The focus narrowed to what truly mattered: health, love, and faith. Mark often pictured himself back on stage, a single spotlight above him, walking forward with new strength. The illness had closed some doors, yes, but it had also opened a new chapter. A chapter about courage, about learning to walk through uncertainty with grace, and most of all, about remembering that love, when tested, can become the strongest force of all.